You know, it really sucks when you have such a beautiful meta. Everything is kind of fun, you know. You have measured early aggression, you have counters to early aggression, you've got literally everything under the sun. It's so diverse, there's so many different people that can play this format. It's really interesting. But then you only get one card in the new set. It really sucks, but I wanted to suck me. Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Mr. here. Today I'm back to cover Feltyrosa in DLBT04. And I guess it is disappointing that for a Halloween season we only get one ghost. But you know what? This is me. So I'm going to do a deck profile around one card. But actually, the real reason why I'm doing this video is because the deck has been updated. Previously, we were playing a turn 4 strategy where we used to ride into the regular copy of Rondo of Eventide Moon, Feltyrosa, and then we would cross Persona right into Plenilune from the main deck. But that has changed because Gandiva has passed away. Rest in peace, Bozo. Because of that, we are now able to play a more aggressive strategy that allows us to cheese in the Grade 3 Feltyrosa into the soul. Very similar to how Dragonic Overlord plays with all the Hatchet. But the idea is that now we don't actually lose our board because we used to rely on only two cards, which is Bertina and Ultron. But we are now trying to play that without Bertina, because Bertina is literally just an 8k vanilla. So today's video will be relatively quick because we've done this deck before. I've gone into this into great detail. I will link the previous Feltyrosa video in the description below, but I'll cover the parts where relevant. For our right deck, we obviously play the Grade 0, 1, and 2 Feltyrosa, and then for the Grade 3, we play Rondo of Plenilune, Feltyrosa. I love Feltyrosa, so obviously I will be playing, the Feltyrosa right deck, but I will just briefly skim through on the parts and why we still play this over stuff like the Sienna right line. Now, the thing about the Sienna right line is that while it gives you defense and a soul plus 1 draw, this gives me a lot more utility for my actual game plan. Here's why. Grade 1 Feltyrosa, when rolled upon, you basically soul plus 1 and choose a ghost and add it back to your hand. Now, this doesn't really sound like a lot considering Sienna gives you a soul plus 1 draw one. But I actually have ghost triggers, and that's gonna matter a lot. I kind of want to recycle my 15k shields. 15k shield is a magic number because it protects me against my goal, it protects me against Stoichia, it protects me against stray 8k Vanguards that are attacking. With a 15k shield, it basically becomes an over trigger to pass. That's why it's so important for me to actually stop them. Grade 2 Feltyrosa, on the other hand, gives me a very different utility. First of all, she also has the passive skill where she can gain 5 on my turn if I have 3 or more ghosts on the board attacking, but you don't always use this skill. It's only when you want to push in and aggro decks like Youthberg. But if you want to talk about her first skill, that is when she's rolled upon in general, you can choose a ghost from your hand and put it to the top of your deck, choose a ghost from your drop zone and put it into your hand. Now the thing is that the ghost that you put from your hand to top deck must be a normal unit, but the ghost that you add from your drop zone to the hand can be any ghost. So again, your trigger units do count. And it really helps me refresh my 15k shield, which is interesting because it helps me a lot for the early game. Stacking a ghost on top of the deck also ensures that I have a higher chance of actually drive checking my ghosts. Then of course move on to the style of the show. It's Rondo of Plenilune, Feltyrosa. This is Feltyrosa's Easter dress up. So dress up, she counts as the original Feltyrosa. This is how all of my Feltyrosa cards work together. It's basically through this dress up effect. Happy Easter. So the second skill is that if you have a Grade 3 Feltyrosa in the soul, all your ghosts in the front row gain 10. It only applies to the front row, which kind of sucks, but hey, can't ask for too much. And then her third skill is that you can counter blast 1. And for this turn, Feltyrosa gains the red text, where twice per turn, if you check a ghost or a Grade 3 Feltyrosa, you can call it to an open rearguard circle, and if you do, this unit gets drive plus 1. So what happens is that you basically can perform one drive check. If you get a ghost or Grade 3 Feltyrosa, you can call it, she gets one drive. And then after that, you can just keep repeating it until you did a max of 2 calls from the drive checks and 2 other drive checks. That's the max you can do. But it's less cumulative in the sense that if you check one trigger, then you check one ghost, and then you check one trigger, you don't get to check again because you only perform one call. So do keep in mind how this wording is phrased. You don't want to be rule sharp for cheating. Moving on to our Grade 3s. Our Grade 3s, we play 1 copy of Plenilune, Feltyrosa for the right deck. We play 3 more copies of Plenilune, Feltyrosa for the main deck. We play 4 copies of Ingrid. We play 1 copy of Forbidor, and then we play 4 copies of the regular Feltyrosa. So let's break into this real quickly. We've covered Plenilune, it's the same as before, it's just, you know, for the right deck and for the Persona right. 4 copies of base Feltyrosa. Previously we used to ride into her, we no longer ride into her, we just mainly use her for a grade 3 Feltyrosa. We can slide into the soul, similar to Draconic Overlord. I will not take the time to explain this skill. Then of course with Ingrid. Ingrid is one of the main cards for this deck, and she's very powerful and very big. She's very big. Her skill is that when placed from anywhere else but from hand, you can counter charge 1, choose 1 rearguard in the same column as this unit and stand it. So basically you can stand a booster. Very cool. And then at the same time when she attacks, she gains 5000 power. At the end of the battle, she must return to the bottom of the deck. This effect is mandatory. So she's an 18k beater, she's a counter charger, she stands your booster. Really good. But the only downside is she goes -1 and that she bot decks herself. Which is still alright, but you know, kinda sucks. But we do have a way to train out 2 grade 3s, which will be Feltyrosa as well as Ingrid. Basically our 2 triple rares from set 1, and that's true Forbidol. Forbidol is a Regalis piece, means you can only play 1 copy of it per deck and use its skill only once per game. You play this into effect, you search your deck for 2 grade 3s and call it to different rearguard circles. They must be of different name. There is other skills where you can search for a grade 4, but it's irrelevant to our cause. By playing this 1 card, you get a +2, but then Ingrid goes back to deck, so it's technically a +1, but then you slide Feltyrosa and the soul to cheat out the effect. So technically it's kind of like a net 0 altogether, but it pushes your early game so much. It gives you such an explosive turn 3. This is definitely one of the cards you want to see. Moving on to our grade 2s. Our grade 2s, we play 4 copies of Diethylin. We play 4 copies of our Roswitha, and then we play 1 copy of grade 2 Feltyrosa. So I mean, this is a really obvious reason why we're still playing this. Feltyrosa is for a right deck, I don't explain much. Roswitha is very similar to Ingrid, where if she's caught by card effect, where she's caught by anywhere by the hand to the Vanguard circle. If your Vanguard's a Feltyrosa, choose one of your back row units and stand it, so you can stand a booster, and then this unit gets 5. Really cool. The second skill is that when she attacks, she can gain 5000 power, and then end of the battle, she must go back to the bottom of the deck. Now, this is unlike Ingrid, where Ingrid was a compulsory effect. It states here at the bottom. Can you see the small text? It says this effect is mandatory. Whereas for Roswitha, it's optional, so you can move her to the bottom of the deck. But the thing is that if you use the skill to gain 5000 power for a second skill, you have to put her back. But you can just choose not to trigger it, whereas Ingrid is a compulsory effect where she will gain 5 no matter what. Of course, we have Diethylin. Diethylin also has the same effect where at the end of the battle that she attacks, she must go to bottom of the deck. This effect is mandatory. So for 10k at a -1, she doesn't sound really good. But when placed on a rearguard circle, if your Vanguard is grade 3 Feltyrosa, you can Soul Blast 1, then choose a ghost from your drop zone and call it to a different rearguard circle. So basically this is one of your main board builders, your main multi-attack extenders. She's just really good for this strategy. It's just that she's very limited in what she does, but she serves an important enough purpose that you still want to play her. Sorry. Moving on to our grade 1s. Our grade 1s, we obviously play 4 copies of Otrat, 2 copies of our brand new card Calorota. We play 4 copies of our Ghost Perfect Guards, which you will see I actually followed out as well. And then we played 1 copy of Feltyrosa. So yeah, this is really more of the same stuff. Grade 1 Feltyrosa is for the right deck, don't have to explain this. We play Ghost Perfect Guards because, you know, we can still call the ghosts. We have the option. It's nice to not be able to break on your Perfect Guards. This is unlike old Feltyrosa. So always play the Ghost Perfect Guards. I'm playing the foil ones from Festival, but you can play any version of the ghost you want. There is a printing for the rare, printing for the so yeah, you generally have options. And then of course move on to Otrat. Otrat is one of the main playmakers of this deck. At the end of the battle, that this unit boosts. If your Vanguard's Feltyrosa, count +1, move the booster unit to the soul and draw 1 card. This is the main way you slide your grade 3 Feltyrosa into the soul and slide your key pieces into the soul to protect them and ensure that you can still have them in rotation. It's a net 0, but it's a wonderful card. Our final card for this deck is Calorota at 2. We're playing at 2 because very frankly we don't have much space to play anything else, but she's helpful enough at 2. if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Feltyrosa, this unit gains intercept and can intercept from the back row and gains 2000 power. So this is a 10k grade 1 that can come out early with no regrets. She can push and fight for the early game. In the late game, you can call her to an open rearguard circle in the front row. She becomes a 20k attacker. If you call her to a back row, she's a 10k booster. She can move up to intercept and stop the smaller 5k attacks. It's just wonderful. I wish they'd just given her more. I wish they'd given her an additional 5k shield. Then I'll just play at 4. I'll be forced to because it'll be that good. But sadly, it's not because it's just a rare. But I'll take what I can get. Thanks God. And of course, our grade 0, we play a copy of grade 0 Feltyrosa. We obviously play 8 criticals because we want to kill people, and then we play 3 draw triggers. We play our Lyrical OD because we love the force all. Having force on every rearguard circle, I mean, are you really going to turn it down? And then we play 4 heals. The ghosts, heals, and crits are played. Everything else is not a ghost. Yeah, and that, my friends, will safely wrap up for me my Feltyrosa deck profile for DLBT04. How do I feel about this deck altogether? Well, I mean, first of all, the fact that I can cover this deck so much quickly, so much faster as compared to my previous few Feltyrosa deck profiles feels nice, because I'm explaining this over and over and over again. You know, it's a nice feeling, but you know, it's still a playable deck. I still think Feltyrosa has a shot to be playable, but I just definitely won't think she's meta viable or anything. She wasn't meta viable when she first came out. She only received meta attention because of a few skewed Vanguard Cytops in April when the set first came out. But realistically, it's not like she's a bad deck. She's still pretty fan balanced, I would say. It's just that when you're fighting against some of the more aggressive decks, or you're fighting against a higher rogue deck like something like Heroes, you may struggle a bit. Definitely against Ignis, this is a really bad matchup because it burns your back row and has much more power output than you. But I would say as a whole, this deck still has a chance. If you just love Feltyrosa, definitely pick up Feltyrosa. What are you waiting for? But I mean, if you're not exactly a fan of this girl, then you have about 29 different lyrical decks to pick from, of which a few I've already covered in this channel for my DLBT04 streak. So you can check them out as well. I have covered Herminia, I've covered Celestial, I've covered Sienna. So, you know, you still have your options as well. But if you'd like me to cover other lyrical girls, let me know in the description below. I may cover them. And the recording of this video, Luan and Shiranui have not been revealed yet, but let me know. Are we dead yet? Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Take care.